Hi everyone, this is Dale Smith from the VCU Department of English, and I put together some advising information for students, not only in the English major, but other VCU students too, for this fall 20 semester. All right, so fall 20 information for you. If you do not have a registration hold, you can add or swap classes up until midnight on Monday, August 24th. If you do have a registration hold, you cannot add or swap classes, and I apologize. But everybody else, add or swap until midnight on the 24th. Students can drop classes for a full refund up until midnight on Monday, August 31st. That's all the way through the first 2 weeks of classes, which is a 1-week extension from the usual drop time frame. You can drop classes through Banner 9. You access Banner 9 by going to eServices, Student, Registration, Banner 9, Register for Classes, Fall 20. I'll show that to you. Banner 9 is new, but you go to your eServices page, Student, Registration, Banner 9, and then you're going to hit Register for Classes, and that's where you're going to be able to drop. You'll see your schedule there. It'll be in the bottom right-hand corner of the screen. Every class is going to have a little drop-down menu. You'll hit the drop-down menu. You'll choose Web Drop, and then at the bottom of the screen, you're going to hit Submit, and that's how you drop classes. And again, you can do that for a full refund for any and all classes up until Monday, August 31st. All right, for students who have registration holds, you can still drop classes. You can't add, you can't swap, but you can drop classes with a hold. To do so, you have to email records and registration, and you do that at records and registration, RAR, at vcu.edu. Just send them a little email. Here's my name, here's my V number, I have a hold. I would like to drop the following class or classes, and just put all that in the email, send it off. And if you do that, for that, I would say do that by 5 p.m. on Monday, August 31st, so that will be processed before the deadline. After August 31st, students can only withdraw from a class. Drop is over, and you can only withdraw from a class, and you will only get a partial refund. That's starting September 1. You can withdraw, but you will get a partial refund. Know this, the deeper into the semester we get, the smaller your refund. Also know that if you withdraw from a class September 22nd or later, you do not get any money back. Now, to know how much money you're going to get back from a withdrawal, you're going to go to the student accounting website. You're going to hit drops and withdrawals, and here are all the dates for, how much money you are going to get back, student refund, based on the date of your withdrawal. All right. The withdrawal deadline this semester is on Tuesday, November 24th, the last day of classes. This is new. I think, well, actually, it was the same last semester when COVID hit, but you have to the last day of classes to withdraw. So that's all, you have all semester to make that decision if you need to. To withdraw, you're also going to go to Banner 9, like you would do to drop. And when you get to your classes and see those drop-down menus, you're not going to have the option for Web Drop starting September 1. Starting September 1, you're only going to see the option for Web Withdrawal. And you will choose that option and then hit Submit, and you will be withdrawn from your classes. Some questions you may have. How do I drop or withdraw from all of my fall classes? If you decide that's what you need to do this semester, just follow the instructions I already gave for drop or withdrawal. Go to Banner 9, Web Drop or Web Withdrawal for each of your classes, and then hit Submit. if you do decide to drop everything before September 1st or withdraw from everything after September 1st, please talk to your advisor first, send them an email, meet with them in some form to give them a heads up. Your advisor may ask you to complete this very brief enrollment cancellation form. Painless, painless, painless. But that's how you withdraw or drop from everything. Some of you may decide to drop or withdraw from everything, and you'll be wondering, how long can I take off from school? All VCU students can take off for 2 full semesters without penalty. You can just walk away, just take that break. In those 2 semesters that you take off, if you do take off 2, you will still be able to make advising appointments through Navigate, and you will be able to register for classes as if you never stepped away. However, if you go into a 3rd semester with no classes at all, then when you do want to take classes, you're going to have to reapply to VCU to start up again, the application fee, the whole deal. So 2 full semesters you can take off without penalty, still be active. But go into 3 and it gets more complicated. There is no charge or fee of any kind when you sit out for a semester or 2. The VCU bill, if you did it before, you know, if you never registered for classes or if you dropped them during ad drop, just goes away. However, if you do sit out for a semester or 2, of course, it does delay your graduation date. Here's an FYI, just so nobody gets an unhappy surprise. If you are receiving student loans, like I did in college, like many of us do, and you'd want to take a semester or 2 off, please check with your financial aid advisor for how long you can sit out before the government starts knocking on your inbox or your mailbox and asking you to start paying back those student loans, because that's an unhappy surprise when that happens. All of you have access to your financial aid advisor through Navigate, where you would book an appointment with your advisor. You'll see your academic advisor. You will also see the name and contact info for your financial aid advisor, and you should be able to make an appointment with them or reach out to them in some form through Navigate. All right, here in this crazy COVID semester, you do have some GPA safety nets. The pass-fail option is in effect again for the fall 20 semester, but it's a little different than it was in the spring. This fall, students can only use the pass-fail option for classes that are not in your major. For example, English majors cannot choose to get the grade of a P or PS for an English class. For a math class, bio class, art history, sociology, yes. But if the class is in your major, you cannot choose to get a P or a PS for it. That's new. The option's still there, but it's limited to classes outside of your major. You can, just like in the spring, sign up for this pass-fail option on a class-by-class basis. It's hardly all or nothing. You can just decide, this one particular class is not going the way I want it to go. I want to protect my GPA and get a P or a PS, and you can just decide to do it for that one particular class. To have access to this option, you complete a form that will soon be available on the Records and Registration website. It will be a very brief form, and you will have to do it by end of day on Tuesday, November 24th, the last day of classes. Last semester, you could choose this option after classes ended, after you saw those final grades. This semester, you have the option, but it's different in that it is only for classes outside of your major, and you have to make the decision by the last day of classes. Once classes end on November 24th, you do not have the pass-fail option anymore. Also, if you're considering this option this semester, talk with your advisor before you fill out the form. Get some advice, make this decision with an advisor's help. All right, what if, horror of horrors, and I wish this on none of you, what if I get sick during the semester? You may be wondering, am I still on the hook for my classes and my tuition bill? The answer to that is very complicated. It depends on individual situations and on multiple factors that are way too complicated to attempt to explain in this video. That said, please know that the VCU powers that be are going to work with you as much as possible. And if you do get sick this semester, please, as soon as you are able, contact your advisor, contact student health, and contact the VCU Dean of Students. If you can't find your information, contact information for student health and the Dean of Students, just reach out to your advisor and your advisor will be able to share that information with you. And with that, I wish all of you a healthy and meaningful fall 20 semester.